One of the ways that companies are now able to increase their level of engagement with individuals is really borrowed from what we do in real life. And that is that we tend to move our relationships into different spaces. So we might have a friendship that begins at work and that develops a little further. So we may go to a bar or somewhere like that and it develops a little further. And in each space we can ask slightly different questions and kind of understand a little more about one another through a process of reveal, effectively, and exchange. The same is now open to companies.
The technology that enables us to do this, to go beyond one-to-one into engagement with the interests, needs, life of the people we want to reach and influence, to try our products and so on, is in place. It's here, thanks to Alterion and other pace setters who now have this operational capability for us. What we as marketers need to do at the agency side and on the client side is to bring our creativity into focus on finding ways to do this that are acceptable to that potential customer or actual customer, and that genuinely, and the key word is genuinely, help to produce a better lifestyle for that person.
What's going on now is the beginnings of a generational change. The next decade is going to be so exciting because we're moving from innovation of many of these technologies and media to mass adoption. Now, as that happens, it changes the way we do business, and in many ways it may well change the way we live our lives.
For millions of potential customers, our software allows people to understand them, understand their preferences, and build strategies. And then we have the ability to execute those communication strategies across the web. So when one of these people comes to the website, or someone that potentially looks like them comes to the website, relevant information can be delivered in a relevant way. So instead of the starting point being a campaign or a particular method of communication, let's say TV advertising, and focusing purely on that, they need to start from the opposite end. They need to start from the consumer. They need to say, okay, how does this consumer want to receive information? How can I interact with them to best effect? How can I make them part of the process? And then they need to build their activities around that. Now that's quite a big change. It's a big change in terms of organisation. So often you have silos within marketing departments that are focused on a particular activity. It's quite a big change in terms of mindset. So you're not looking at the cost per letter you send out anymore. You're needing to build new metrics of customer engagement and interaction and what really matters for your business, and correlate that into revenue and profit. And it's quite a big change in terms of skills. So a recent survey that we ran demonstrated that I think about 3/4 of organisations felt that they didn't have the right skills internally to take advantage of the opportunity to engage with their customers. And it's quite a big change in terms of technology. You have to bring together a single customer view as best you can. It's never going to be perfect. You have to understand what you can about each customer, irrespective of how they communicate with you, and then you need to use that to drive communication across lots of different channels. So it's a huge undertaking. But I've got to tell you, the people that succeed in this undertaking will do extremely well, because they'll be interacting with consumers in the way they want to be interacted in, and they'll have customer engagement, which leads to sales and profit.
The companies that really get this right over the next 10 years are going to play a much bigger role in the lives of their customers. They will be far more significant as brands than they have been. Consequently, they will obviously be selling them more product, they will be more involved with them. They will obviously still be looking for new customers, but they're much likely to have very, very high retention rates.
I think they would be, first of all, look at your website and work out if it engages with customers and prospects. And if it doesn't, do something about it. If you don't own it as marketing, then you need to take control of it, because that is the most important channel of communication you've got in most businesses today. The second is, stop being frightened of social media and start taking part in social media, because the way to use social media to the corporation's advantage, if you like, is to make sure you're engaging with people that are talking about your brand or competitors' brands or whatever it might be in the social media channel, and that you are having a dialogue that can lead to relationships with those people that can be very beneficial for everyone. So don't be frightened of it, start engaging with it proactively.